Howdy mates, good afternoon. Here's a part 2 video visiting over at the Oscar Scherer State Park. As part of this video, I want to focus upon another plant that I stumbled while I was strolling through these pine flatwoods. So while I was walking nearby, I noticed this particular shrub right here. This is actually something called a netted pawpaw, also known as the Asimenia reticulata. Now, with that being said, you may be wondering, is this like the same thing as common pawpaw? I mean, it's similar, but there are indeed 4 separate species of pawpaw that reside in Florida. And in this instance, the netted pawpaw is the most common in this case. So, to start off, these plants are actually very drought tolerant. So that means they do have hardness zones of approximately 8 to 10. So that means they can reside basically in the southeastern part of the United States. So, what's neat about this particular shrub is that it is indeed deciduous. So that means they do eventually lose their leaves. And they typically flower in late winter. So February, March, and then even April. And the neat thing about this particular plant is they actually... Oh, stepped on something a little sharp. Pardon me. They actually produce these little fruits that are a common characteristic of this plant, such as right here. This is the actual fruit itself. Now, I'm sure some of you have heard that they may taste very similar to bananas, and that actually is quite true. And honestly, the actual fruit themselves, they really don't get that large whatsoever. And a fascinating fact of this plant, there's another great example right there. The shrub may only grow up to 2 or 3 feet. That's it. It doesn't really grow that tall. And typically, the flower will produce 3 separate petals, but then even there will be 3 smaller petals on the inside. Now, you may be wondering, is it really a native plant? Yes, it is. Point in fact, this is actually a host plant for a particular butterfly called the Zebra Swallowtail. And actually, I did see one just a little bit ago, but it looks like it has moved on. So what I mean by host plant is they actually use the netted pawpaw as a means of raising their, well, for reproduction mostly. And they actually feed on the leaves, like the caterpillars themselves. It's quite amazing how butterflies can recognize their host plants. I like to think that did not happen by chance, honestly. Just how nature knows how to remain so aligned. And that was the point I was making yesterday with the article I was sharing is, you know, if humans were gone, the earth would be just fine. It would be able to sustain itself perfectly, as the earth has already existed for billions of years. But unlike us, humans, we need nature. We can't survive without it. And yet, I think that's the irony of, habitat destruction and overdevelopment. is we're literally slowly but surely destroying something that we need most. And that's why, as part of my videos, I want to educate on those type of matters, because it is indeed happening right now as we speak. But yes, they call this the netted pawpaw too, because if you pull off a leaf, you'll notice that there are veins that move all over the leaf. You can't really see it from my camera, but with the veins moving just about anywhere on the surface of this leaf, it gives it a rather reticulated or a netted appearance. Hence, that is how the plant really got its name in the first place. So, neat thing is indigenous tribes have actually used this plant as a diuretic in tea to help relieve kidney problems. Because, to be honest, kidneys are also one of our most important organs in our body, besides the liver. You know, it's the kidneys that really act as our filter. You know, they help process and excrete our waste from our body. So without our kidneys, we couldn't survive. It's kind of like the exhaust system of a car. You know, it's sort of like an analogy. So, alright, you guys, take care. And like I said, if you're down here, you know, if you can actually incorporate these into your native garden. And if you do have some, try to pick the berries as soon as you can, because our wildlife love to forage on these. So, alright, you guys, thanks for watching. And once again, Journey on a Journey is outwards. Take care, folks. See ya. Take care, you guys.